Let's move to the South Regional now, and this regional has changed in its structure in that we have now removed Latin America. They will send 5 men, 5 women, and 5 teams to the CrossFit Games, and the South Regional is now comprised of the Southwest and the South Central. We have some marquee names on the women's side. We're going to get to those in a second, but on the men's side, what has been so fun about the South Regional is after every event, it seems like the top 5 of the leaderboard gets shoved into a blender and then they just spit something out, and that's how it is the next event. We never know who is going to be in the top 5 after every event.
It's volatility. It's like looking at the leaderboard is kind of like a cardiograph. You
Yeah.
know, you see it go up and down. I'm interested to see, like I mentioned at the top of the show, how we're impacted on this leaderboard by the extraction of Latin America. One, by just the running of the days. So athletes in this region are used to having an extra heat. They're there for hours more than athletes in other regions as well. So it's no longer going to be an endurance event. It's no longer going to be that big of a mental test that it used to be. And for staff and stuff, that'll be nice as well. But I'm interested to see how that impacts the leaderboard. Will it be less volatile for that reason? There's less scores in there. You're going to be punished a little bit less for bad events. Or will it remain the same? Will it be up and down?
Yeah, there's some interesting storylines here. 3 qualifiers from the men that are now gone, probably only adding to that blender effect that Sean talked about. You have a marquee matchup with the women. The top team from the CrossFit Games last year is not coming back. So lots to chew on and a lot of question marks.
We've got to make one more announcement. Everybody who's watching this on Facebook, watch. Back away from your keyboard for 1 second and pay attention. Matt Fraser is competing in 2018. He is in the Central Regional now. Repeat after me. Matt Fraser is competing. He is in the Central Regional. No one freak out anymore. Okay. I hope we have now solved that problem. It's amazing what internet just runs with some things, man. Okay, man. Let's get to the women's side of things, where the marquee matchup in the South for the women is between Camila Blanc-Bazinet and Tanil Burline. Last year, as you recall, Tanil Burline got the best of Camila Blanc-Bazinet at both the regional, where she won it, and at the CrossFit Games. Camila Blanc-Bazinet is back in 2018 and really trying to get things going in the other direction here. Since she won the CrossFit Games in 2014, she has yet to finish better than 13th, and last year she had to withdraw after just the second event because of a shoulder injury. She has gotten off to a great start here in 2018. She was 4th in the World Wide Open. So what can we expect to see from Camila Blanc-Bazinet here at the South Regional?
Honestly, I think we can see vintage Camille in terms of her regional performance, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her back at the top. I start to look at some of these events and the things that could maybe trip her up. They seem to be things that are going to trip everyone else up. The 333 is going to suck for everyone. Camille actually took on this event the year she won at the CrossFit Games. I think one of the things that's going to trip others up, the handstand walk course, is going to be something that she's going to excel at, but it will be a good test to see if that shoulder is completely healthy. And then, you know, the dumbbells, it's going to suck for everyone as well. I don't think Camille will necessarily have that much of a time with the handstand push-ups and the toes to bar being kind of 2 wheelhouse movements right before. So I would not be surprised if everything shook out. We saw Camille standing on top of the podium in the South after 3 days of competition.
It's easy to pick favorites on the women's side with both Tanil Burline and Camila Blanc-Bazinet coming back, and there are some big-name athletes over there. On the men's side, though, things have gone through quite a bit of change there. Travis Williams, one of the guys who's been a mainstay as far as qualifiers are concerned, he's now going team, so his spot is up for grabs. Who is the favorite now on the men's side?
For me, it's Logan Collins, and this is probably a guy who doesn't get enough credit for the work that he's put in the last couple of years, in particular, having his best finish at the games last year, just narrowly missing out on cracking the top 10, but he's starting to check off other boxes that usually we use as standards for some of the best in the sport, whether it be event wins at the CrossFit Games, which he's done, breaking the top 10, which he was so close to doing, winning your regional, setting some event records at regionals as well. Those are all things that he's done on top of being inside the top 10 worldwide this year in the Open. Like I said, I think it's the best programming we've seen, which only points to a brighter future for him this year as well. So I think he's the guy to beat.
I love Logan Collins. I'm going to pick a young man. I'm going to pick a young man named Tommy Venus. And actually, I got to give pour out my sippy cup for, or my shaker cup rather, for Easy Muhammad and Dakota Rager. I don't got my sippy cup with
young Tommy there.
That's right. Your face threw me off. But yeah, the reason I like Venus is basically because of the way that he plays the game, not the results that he's put up on the leaderboard yet. I was there in person at the liftoff when him and Elijah Muhammad were just singing tunes, singing along with the music, having fun, dancing, and throwing up big weight. And anybody who's having that much fun, they're that young, and he's got one top 5 event now, although it was on the barbell. He said he's been working on his running, not on the assault runner, but he says that if he can score top 10 in that event, he'll be fine. He thinks he'd even stand on top of the podium.
And he was a blast to watch at the games last year in that
So
one rep max snatch event. The
fiery.
energy that he brought was fantastic. Love to see that back out on the floor. There will be some attention paid to the team competition in the South. First of all, because we have a new super team there. We mentioned Travis Williams not competing in the men's division anymore. He's now on a team with Jordan Cook, Sheila Barden, and Rachel Garibay. And then the team that won the whole thing last year at the CrossFit Games, Wasatch CrossFit, they all gone.
They all gone. That's true, and they're all gone for different reasons, whether it be family, with Nikayla North giving birth to a child when she was actually pregnant at the CrossFit Games, or Adrian Conway kind of taking a year to rest some dings and bruises, as well as focus on his family and his young child as well. But we do get to see one of those athletes go individual, Mitch Spute, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure. But they are being replaced by a team that can almost fill that championship void that they're leaving behind, that they kind of established that they were major players last year for Wasatch. This Orasti team, at least on paper, with the talent that they have between Williams, Cook, multi-year veteran, Sheila Barden, multi-year veteran, Rachel Garibay, best finish like top 10 in the Open worldwide this year. At least on paper, they can be one of the top contenders.
Yeah, I like them as a top contender for the region. It saddens me that we won't see the defending champions of the Affiliate Cup back at the CrossFit Games, just for the simple fact that I would love to see Mayhem rekindle that battle in the 4-person format and see how it would play out if it would be any different. But yeah, here at the regional, I think you're absolutely spot on.
The South Regional is always full of surprises. With that in mind, who are some dark horses that we should be keeping our eye on as competition kicks off in the South Regional?
Well, there's a young man by the name of Brandon Luckett that I think could make some waves. He's already got a couple of years of competition at the regional under his belt, and he's only 23 years young. First time it was as a team member, last year as an individual. First year as an individual takes 7th. Immediately when you take those 3 athletes who qualified last year out of the equation, he's one of the top contenders to slide up the leaderboard there. Another thing that I love about him is he was a 2-time state champion in wrestling. And we've seen before that wrestler's mentality in terms of grinding and putting in the work day in, day out has really shown with athletes like Spieler in the past. And I think this is a good opportunity for a young man to seize the gap that's left by these other guys, and he could surprise some people this year.
We've seen that wrestling background with athletes like myself too, right? I've got like 6 weeks under my jiu-jitsu belt, and my white belt really shone through in the Open this year. Oh, man. I want to talk about a young lady who's on the tip of everyone's tongue.
Emily Tanner.
Emily Tanner's the one. I forget. And actually, you kind of turned me on to her. She 4th place in the Open in her region, fittest woman in Utah. And we wanted to know if she was the real deal. But the friends over at Brute, where she trains, said she absolutely is. And these events stack up really nicely for her. But, and this is a big but, event number 1 could be a major bump in the road for her. If she can get through that, she'll do fantastically. You probably don't know about her because she's only been to the games and regionals as a team member. And you can hide in that old 6-person format. You can get hidden away. But things are looking up for her, and I'll be definitely keeping my eye on her in the region.
Number 1 thing to watch at the South Regional.
I'm excited to see Roy Gamboa back.
Yeah.
He's an explosive athlete that can do some crazy eye-popping stuff, whether it's like power snatching 300 pounds or repping out strict muscle-ups. He's just an exciting guy to watch, and after taking last year off, I'm stoked to see him back.
Yeah, I'll focus back onto the ladies. I'm excited to see. I'm excited, like you said. This is going to be a huge indication, a statement by CLB, and I would love to see her back in fighting form. Tennille Reed's there, and it's a fantastic fight to watch, so she won't just be out on an island by herself, even if she isn't fighting form. So all about the ladies.
Well, we are watching competition. Kayla Banfield is watching what's going on in social media and has a closer look at everything regarding the athletes in the South Regional. Kayla?
Thanks, Sean, and thank you for also clarifying about Matt Fraser. It's safe to say that there's a lot of relieved people now on the feed. A lot of people actually having a bit of a laugh about it as well. Someone even saying, "What? Rich Froning is going individual?" So they're having a good time on the feed, and I'm actually really enjoying watching it. Anyway, for me today is about the athlete highlights. So next highlight. Tommy and Sean were talking about Wasatch Brutes. I'm going to talk about a team member from the team last year who is going individual this year, and that's Mitch Spute. Now, I've always believed that to be a Games team member, you have to be an exceptional individual athlete but to be the Affiliate Cup champ is next level. The next photo came with a really great caption that I wanted to highlight, and that was, "Keep putting money in the bank daily so when the time comes, you can cash out." And that's from his friend and our friend, Margot Alvarez. So something really interesting about Mitch, is that last year his worldwide rank in the Open was 1,242nd and performed obviously exceptionally well in the 2017 season. But to put that into perspective, this year he placed 142nd, so has made quite an impressive improvement this year. The next and the final athlete for me to highlight today is Alyssa Lafont, who is a 24-year-old ER nurse. Now, this is some footage of Alyssa training, and yes, she's one of those crazy athletes who will get up at 3 a.m. in the morning. So this video was taken at 3 before her work schedule. Alyssa has held the title of fittest in Louisiana for the last 3 years and will be heading back to regionals this year as an individual for her second time. And lastly, I wanted to highlight a couple of fun photos, and as a fellow dash hound owner myself, we all know that they can encroach in our personal space. So I love this photo. And lastly, another little tiny dog, and yes, it is in her work pocket, which I thought was very cute. Now, I do have a couple of questions that have come through, so if you guys have got some time, one of them is aimed at you, Rory. Joyce Brady would like to know, will you be at the East Regionals?
Oh, sad, my friends. But no, I will not. Actually, sad but happy, bittersweet. I get to spend time at the desk, which I haven't done in years. Been on the road, but no, the only regional that I will be traveling to, we'll get to go together.
Correct.
And we'll be down for the Atlantic Regional in West Palm Beach, which I'm fired up about because I'm guessing weather might be nice and probably spending all our time just Facebooking and in the shade.
4 p.m. thunder shower and deal with some humidity.
Drinking out of coconuts.
Sure, I'm all for it. What else you got, Kayla?
Just quickly, Joel Lara says, wait, so she can see our chat. The answer is yes, I can see everything. So keep them coming. Last question from Jim Roney. How do you feel about the 4-person team?
Oh, that's a good one. I love the 4-person team. I think that made the team competition, not that it wasn't already exciting, but even more exciting. It's kind of addition by subtraction.
You didn't like the 60-person battle.
I mean, it was a little bit. It was kind of a controlled riot out there sometimes.
It was like the Braveheart fight scenes.
It'd be much better to watch.
No, totally. I love it. We've seen at the Invitational how much a little bit more cleaner the competition can run with 4 athletes. And I think with narrowing it down to 4, it elevates the standards to even make it onto a regionals or games level team. And anytime you can collectively raise the competition level, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Events can be cooler. It's easier to get invested in the athletes, and it draws in really competitive athletes to make a team.
Kayla, thanks so much. Remember, guys, when you're posting throughout the weekend watching regionals, use that hashtag #UpdateShow, and hopefully Kayla will get it on one of our many segments throughout the weekend of regionals. 3 going on this weekend. We got Europe, that starts first. We got the East, and we got South. What is the one can't-miss event for you here in these 3 regionals?
For me, it's event 3. I think there's a lot of hubbub about this whole handstand walk obstacle, and I think especially in week 1, with these athletes having the least amount of time to prepare, seeing how that plays out and if they can step up to the plate on that, because I think in later weeks people have more time to practice, and I think they'll knock it out of the park. So week 1, I think that obstacle in particular is very crucial.
In short, doesn't matter which one, because 6 of the top 10 women will be competing. You'll see the best athletes in the world do all the events. I thought I was going to say event number 6, the really short and aggressive one, but actually I'm going to change it to the long, slow slog of event number 1, which may surprise you guys. I think that just shows who can suffer better. Old Sherwood likes to see athletes suffer.
That's true.
You're going to see a lot of suffering in that. God bless Jeff Brightwell, Tanya Wagner, Brandon Dormain, Mads Jacobson, Ten Raby, and Justin Judkins, who are going to be talking about that for 30 minutes. But I think they'll do a fantastic job.
That'll be a little bit of a challenge to bring that action to you.
Yeah, nothing gets me excited like 20 minutes on the air.
Just we're starting off, right out of the chute with a really exciting event there, but a necessary one in order to have a very complete test. We will have every heat of every event from all 3 regionals live. You can watch them all live in one of 3 places. You can watch it on games.crossfit.com. You can watch it on Facebook Watch and also on CBSSports.com. And for those of you here in the United States, on Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time on CBS, the network, we will have a 1-hour regional show. You're going to want to tune in to that. We'll have live coverage throughout the entire weekend. I will be here, Ro will be here, Tommy and Kayla will also be here. Pat Sherwood will be joining us. Annie Sakamoto will be joining us, Sam Farber, and Dan Bailey. And don't worry, we will also have preview shows the next 2 weeks, same time. So Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we will be back on Facebook Watch, and we will get you set for the next weekend. So the next 3 weeks are going to be filled with regional stuff. The Europe regional starts Thursday at midnight. So you can tune into that one and you can watch basically, I don't know, 20 hours of regional coverage, get a few hours of sleep, and then do the whole thing all over again. We have you covered from every angle. We hope that you will join us all weekend. It's going to be a blast. For Caleb Banfield, Tommy Marquez, and Rory McKernan, I'm Sean Woodland, and we will see you Friday for week number 1 of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Regionals.